Hello everyone. I partnered up again with GA to do a difficult challenge run, and if you read the title and clicked on the video, you probably saw correctly that we aren't spending any gold for the entirety of the challenge. This poses a few problems for us. 1. We can't engage in any interactions that cost gold, so no buying items in towns or other shops, and no engaging in any events that would cause us to lose money. 2. We can't remove cards in town after Act 2 as it starts to cost gold for us to remove them, so any cards picked up in Act 2 and beyond need careful consideration. What we do have going for us is extensive knowledge of guaranteed item drops that mainly come from bosses and mini-bosses, so we can guarantee good weapons for our carry. We also can plan routes with rest stops, which will enable us to remove one card in everyone's deck, so long as we have a healer. We can also remove cards in Corruptor rewards, though on the flip side, the shop rewards are useless, and rewards offering money and shards are a lot less good. With all that said, we chose Laya, Gustav, Sylvie, and Andrin as our characters here. Sylvie because we plan to get Tempest and she's just a great solo carry overall. Laya because she's a healer, Gustav because he gives us sharp and also can give us evade, which is pretty great, and Andrin because he's really good at just deck manipulation and speed manipulation throughout the entirety of the run. Unfortunately for GA, he left most of the planning to me, and I didn't plan. So here's what he had to say after we were done with the run. That was
every time I do one of these with you, I just think, God, I hope I'll never ever want to do that again.
That's how I feel too.
Why do you put yourself through this?
Because someone's gotta know. Like, can it be done?
Yeah.
By the way, stick around to the end of the video, or just fast forward to the last timestamp if you want a sneak peek at the next run after this one. I'm pretty excited to show it off. Also, sorry these videos are taking longer to create. I'm getting more busy and these co-op runs take a lot of time to edit. We're talking 6 to 8 hours here. If anyone has any suggestions on what they'd like to see from these videos going forward, I'm all ears, as I'd like my videos to be shorter, but I'm not sure what to cut. So let me know what parts of the run you'd like to see in the comments below, as I'm genuinely interested in what I could be cutting out. Maybe I show only boss fights, maybe town edits and bosses with stats at the end, or maybe just act-only bosses with dialogue from the live run. Any input is welcome. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get into what proved to be a somewhat challenging run. As we get into it here, you can see that I have a hard time not going into the shop and looking at all the items I can't buy. GA is wondering what the heck we're going to be doing.
Okay, so what's the strategy here, Chief?
So we're going to the mountains, and with the mountains as our goal, DA decides to take it into his own hands to go over our deck options.
Let's start with the must-haves. We absolutely have to have a Song of Celerity, and then we absolutely have to have Trace. I'm doing Andrew's deck now. Trace. And then we absolutely have to have a thingy-majig. You know the one. Champion Initiative. 216.
216, yeah, you aren't kidding. You do just spend all your money on Laya. Her deck is completely different now.
Yeah.
And with all those cards successfully put on our deck, you can take a look at them here. Feel free to pause. This is Laya's deck, Piercing Hell for slow, vulnerability. Andrin's deck has the chance of initiatives, tracker, and traces. Of course, we're going to be using those going forward to manipulate our decks as best as possible. Sylvie's got a bunch of quick shots, some shivs for extra damage, and most importantly, the multi-shots. We opted to keep camouflage for the stealth and sharp. And then Gustav has a ton of chant of accuracies, Ode of War for some powerful, and a little bit of damage and healing on his own. As we lay down a save and do the last checks on our decks, GA already finds a problem with my route as soon as we leave town. The shop, because that'll just make me sad.
Caravan. No.
No.
It's an extra note. It's more score. It's fine. Old habits.
You're good. Getting into our first fight here, I am going to show you basically how each fight goes and then skip over most of the action in the fights, as it's roughly the same game plan each and every fight, with slight variations based on where expert tracking is in Andrin's deck. Outside of that, there's not really too much more to say. I forgot to mention it earlier, but if you want to see perks, they are in the intro, or not in the intro, they're in the description. And I'm not going to be re-recording this because it's too late. So, anyways, we're getting into the fight. We're putting as much bless as we can on Sylvie. We're giving her some powerful. The inner fire does add a little bit of damage when you add zeal to Sylvie as well. It's 3%. It's not that much, but it does do something. Main goal here, make sure she has as much sharp as possible. So we're at 9, 7 powerful, and 5 bless. The 9 sharp is giving her plus 1.5 damage in every piercing damage, and then bless is also giving plus 1.5 damage. So with 14, it is a total of 21 extra damage on each and every card, which is why she does so much more damage, and plus 70% on top of that plus 21 base. So did I say damage enough? Sylvie's very damaging. Still not damaging enough that we won this fight in 1 round, but we're not going for high score, so it's not really much to worry about. There wasn't really anything for us to take on these rewards here, so we just get our shards and leave. We do honest work so that we can get some rope to tie up some pigs later. This fight really goes much the same as the other fights. I'll just show you Sylvie's end turn here. The setup is almost identical. Slightly different cards for Sylvie. We do get a nice purple clarity on Laia. I do like that, so I take it. It's hard not to take the shiny cards. Other than that, we don't really have too much here. It's just going to be shards, I believe. I don't know why I'm spending an eternity looking at this. We go down to the hatch, and we're going to tie up a pig. At this point in the run, we're feeling pretty good, and I decided to end up trolling GA.
I really don't need to take 6 damage, do I?
I don't know. That's like, how much extra? That's like 6% extra damage. Fine, I'll heal you.
I think I'm gonna be okay. If they're on 1 health, after this, then I will apologize.
This fight isn't really anything special, though. These pigs are not really a problem, as we've been facing 4 enemies previously, and only 2 don't make much of a challenge. Here we are looking at our card rewards. We get another setup on Andrin, which does feel very nice. We get a scry on Laia, potentially as a shard save on upgrades, but I don't really take it. Instead, we opt for the Chant of Initiative on Gustav so that we can get more options on our speed. We do go on the downward path so that we can throw in the pig that we tied up and get some powerful and energy boon cards in everybody's deck. And there is the Dark Miasma boon. It's probably one of the best things you can get in the game because it can be put in every hero's deck. The energy is always nice, even if the powerful isn't useful. We get a brute from the next fight that we have right before Bellafor, which is pretty nice because we're going to want him to be as vulnerable as possible, and we don't have a ton of vulnerability just yet. We do have some bad cards in our deck right now, and I wasn't until now that I realized that we couldn't remove those cards without spending money. Death Stores and injury cards do cost money to remove, so unless we do it at a cleric site, we won't be able to remove them at all. It is one of those things that we are fortunate enough to have a cleric site right after we get out of this Belfior fight, but I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. In this fight, I am again showing off the way that we sort of filter out our decks with the new cards that we've added. There's a lot of decision making here on like how much draw we need each turn, if we want to use fortune telling as part of our energy use, or if we want to just try to get as many chances as possible. We're trying to get 5 Inspire on Sylvie at all times, whenever possible, that is. As well as making sure she has 7 Powerful. The 7 Powerful is probably the most important thing. Second most important thing is whatever Sharp and Bless we can put on her. We unfortunately don't get a very good Sharp turn with Gustav, so she's going to have to do a lot of that sharpening herself in the form of the Camouflage. Multi-shot is also sadly not too useful here, and our Rapid Fire can't be played twice in a turn because we don't have the extra energy from the boon. If we had gotten it, we would have been able to play it twice. No, we did get the extra energy from the boon, and now we have 2 energy instead of 5. Yeah, I think that's right. We weren't able to give Sylvie any extra energy in any other way, which was a bit unfortunate. So we're really just hoping to hit like the back row here and not have to focus too much on the front row. Belfior does do like quite a bit of damage. Thankfully, we do draw Piercing Hell. We wanted to guarantee Piercing Hell in Laia's deck, so we did. That was what the Trace was used for. We get the Inspire in Gustav, because Gustav has the perk where he gets to 7 cards, and we need to always have 7 cards if we want to get as many chances as possible. We don't have the draw, unfortunately, from Sylvie there, so we have to take another Belfior turn. Thankfully, he doesn't murder us this turn. I believe it's round 3 that he really does the murder. Definitely from the cards I can see above his head right now, that is the case. And yeah, always making sure we have 1 Inspire on Liev, 1 Inspire on Gustav. Really, we're going to be doing the best we can there. Not too much more to say other than that. This fight goes pretty well. Definitely a little bit sketchy at times, but nothing we couldn't handle. The card rewards ended up being nothing, unfortunately, and here we have to make quite a few level up decisions, some of which I was surprised by.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I have been really enjoying Elven Agility over target shooting.
Oh my god, Elven Agility. Oh. Okay.
It's base damage, and
you're saying this on a run where we're not getting enemies to 6 vulnerable currently.
Yeah.
It's base damage, but it only lasts 2 attacks, which is only 2 attacks.
You draw so many cards with it's so much damage with the draw.
Yeah, but are we going to be overdrawing is the question.
No.
No?
We're going to take an adrenaline on her in Act 2.
And I feel like we're going to start cycling through her deck.
Which is important, because... okay, well... Am I leveling up Andrin? Am I leveling up Andrin right now?
Oh yeah, we're taking Wild Hunt all the way.
Okay.
All the way. It's gonna be in your way, and it's gonna be glorious.
Yeah.
So eventually GA does convince me that he can take Elven Agility, and I convince him to take Mark with Andrin. So we're both gonna end up moderately happy, I guess. A lot of rhythm's nice on Gustav for a little bit of heal. Our pickup here is actually really nice. Lockpicks for some early sharp does do quite a bit of extra damage for us. The bandages can also recover a decent amount of HP over the course of the game, and we could take some damage with Gustav as well, because we might as well. Gold is useless after all, and this is an important event for us. It's just a matter of whether we have to do an extra fight or not. Nice. You can get some shards. Beautiful.
Nice. Ah, we didn't spend gold.
We didn't spend gold. The challenge is alive and well. As you might be able to tell from our reactions there, I did think that we were going to have to spend gold, and us not having to was very nice. I forgot we could just do the fight to help those people. So the challenge run did live. We do get rid of all the injuries in our decks, and for Laya, I don't remember what we got rid of right there. I'm sorry if I missed it, but whoever's eagle-eyed might have caught it. We're looking for other items to pick up there. I'm hoping to get lockpicks at the apprentice craftsmanship. There's a chance of it, I believe, though we don't get lucky and pick it up. We do get an emerald necklace for some speed. There's 0 gold always at this option, so we just take our time deciding here. We get opal ring with Sylvie, a little bit more resistances, can't hurt, right? Better than nothing, literally. Spyglass actually is kind of useful because we get sight charges on the enemies, and that does reduce their piercing resistance, which is the vast majority of our damage. That's all Sylvie does. And then we go into our Yoga fight here, with Andrin being a little bit faster. The little bit faster is nice because we can't buy speed items, and we're gonna need to be faster than a Monty and a Colin in some of the Act 2 or Act 3 fights. So, Yoga here, it's very much similar to Belfior. If you saw that fight, you saw the rest. These fights don't change too much from Act to Act. We do have our chant of initiatives to make sure that we're always going fast enough with all our characters. Thankfully, we don't have to be chant of initiating Sylvie because she's already 18 speed, which is the same speed as Yoga. So we can do as much damage as possible with our quick shots. Quick shots only hitting the front monster is a little bit of a limiter in some of these fights where the bosses do summon units. Makes it difficult for us to do damage on the second turn. whenever there is a second turn and potentially third turn, if those enemies are still alive, though usually we're able to kill those enemies pretty quickly. Getting to the second turn, it also means that our powerful is a lot more important to have multiple sources of, as we need to reapply it almost every turn. So Inner Fire here is great. We are able to get Sylvie up to 7 powerful once again. Dark Miaza also being a powerful source is pretty nice for us. We get a little bit of Bless on Sylvie, and now she has even more damage. And the multi-shot plus a single Shiv is able to do it for us. Hunter's Mark here is another source of vulnerability, which we were feeling kind of shy on. Me more so than GA, I think. But it's definitely one of those things that does become a little bit of a problem at some points of the run, but honestly not too big of a deal. So we take the extra Hunter's Mark there for some vulnerability application, as well as the Mark application, because doing the extra damage is nice. Here we get another bandages if we want. Again, taking gold is pointless, so we might as well take items if they're at all decent for us. The Cloak of Evasion is really good on Laia, as it allows us to take Fanaticism later down the line. As well as potentially just survive some hits. But we take Wolfskin Cloak instead because we want to make sure that we have a extra Howl in our deck so that we get that vulnerable and slow. Like I said, I was a little bit worried about vulnerable and slow. We get a nice success here, but not a critical success on our start of the tree fight, even though the chances were very high, as our decks are quite cheap. But shouldn't pose too much of an issue. Yelmer is a little bit difficult for physical damage dealers overall, which is part of why vulnerability is important to get there. He reinforces himself first turn. He likes to get rid of debuffs as well, so he can get rid of a lot of the mark or vulnerable that you put on him straight away if you don't have other sources of debuffs that you put on him. Because he dispels 2 first turn, I think? Gosh, he's kind of crazy. If not first turn, then the second turn, and yeah, makes it very annoying. Though we are able to put some slow on him and vulnerable. Mainly powering up Sylvie is going to be our best shot at dealing damage. We draw Odivore, unfortunately on the wrong turn, as we already had Sylvie at 7 powerful. Priority on this fight, though, is to take out the Dryad if we can't take out Yelmer in 1 turn, and we don't believe we can. Elven Agility does prove super useful in this fight. I was convinced that it was going to be very good early on, but less good as the time goes on, and I think that ends up being right throughout the run, as those among you with unbiased opinions can watch and point out whether you think Elven Agility or the Piercing Shot would be better here. Definitely think it's better early on, not sure about later. The Dispel from Sweet Melodies are nice to have every now and then, though we're pretty confident we can get the kill quickly here. We just have to make sure we're not putting on too many thorns that we're attacking into, though we need the draw on Sylvie. So we want her to do massive damage in short succession, but she's not dealing any damage because the Reinforce is there and he's not vulnerable. So we can't really do too much. He also doesn't have that much mark on him. So we opt to wait for the 3rd round, which is the Moonbeam round. It is a round we will die in if he gets to go with it. He still has Reinforce, but we were able to apply a little bit of vulnerability and a lot of mark. 39 mark makes a lot of difference.
Whoa, yeah.
Just freaking you out, seeing if you're paying attention.
Don't point that thing at me.
just making sure you're awake here. As you can probably tell, we were having a good time. Fairly confident in our ability to beat Yelmer. Honestly, we didn't really struggle on this fight. We did beat it on our first try. We were able to get up to 6 vulnerability, which, you know, is another point in GA's favor, as he'll remind us of shortly. Though I'll have my doubts throughout the entire run. Sylvie does have a ton of powerful this turn, though, so we're able to do a lot of damage, and I'll let our past selves talk for a second or two. Oh, reverse.
See, we got decent vulnerable application regardless.
I mean, we got it on turn 3.
he dispels himself anyway. We'll see. That one I'm giving that one to Elven Agility.
Okay. With our card rewards, we do get a nice break in Tactical Thinking. It does give us a Song Celerity on demand. It also gives us some Eagle Vision if we really want to put Sight on enemies for a little bit lower Piercing Resist, and Detection if we want to get some more mark on them in the long future. So we're taking Tactical Thinking as it kind of replaces a card in Andrin's deck very nicely. The rest of the cards aren't too useful, so we get a lot of shards, which is great. And then our item shop is, well, item shop, it's not really a shop, but again, there's no point in taking gold, really. So the lockpicks here, really great for Sylvie. The other stuff, not really amazing, but we might as well take it. Yggdrasil Root on Laya, a little bit of additional healing on Gustav for the regen. He also has the regen perk. And we're going to cross off it into the lava land so that we can go get Tempest as soon as possible. I will be going over our decks here very shortly, so feel free to pause as I go over them in real time.
Save it now.
Yeah, give me a second. I gotta do the thing where I show all the decks at the end of the buying process.
Oh yeah.
You know, if I don't do that, like, what if I really do? Okay, send me all the gold too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, perfect. With our decks together, it's time to head out, but I was thinking of GA's preferences. Oh, I thought about something for the Coliseum, too. Do we just bail out at the Minotaur fight?
Maybe. Why?
There's a card in there that you don't like, so...
There's a card in there that I don't like.
How interesting. This is a pretty rough one. We don't need to do this.
Yeah, we don't. That's pretty sure, right?
Yeah, you know how you get the boon at the end of the arena?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I really hate that one. I hate it a lot. I don't hate it. I just think people blindly take it and keep it without thinking about it. That's what I dislike about it.
As we start getting to Act 2 proper here, I can assure you the decks are playing out very similarly. I'll be showing you Sylvie's turn for the most part on all of these. We do have to go to round 2 on this fight. It was semi-difficult, honestly. Like, we did take some time. The buffer is annoying, the zeal is annoying to try to get through on damage. These guys are just kind of tanky and can hurt us quite badly if the front guy gets to go again, because he does Whirlwind, which attacks everybody. And sadly, we don't have many Ballad of Evasions yet to mitigate all that damage. So he does get to go. Oh, sorry, we do have a Battle of Evasion, because that was one of the cards that I made sure to grab on Gustav. Haha, I'm lying completely. But yeah, this fight was a challenge. We had to try this several times. Pretty much because of the front guy slowing us down quite a bit, as well as just doing a ton of damage on turn 2. The Battle of Evasion is going to be very nice on Gustav, but it's not going to save Laya on turn 2 from his high damage. So we need to make sure we're focusing the correct targets here. The bird is a decent target, as I believe it is the one applying Zeal to everybody. But the Bat Cat is going to do a lot of damage if we let it go, so it's sort of a matter of whether we want to let it do damage or not. Howl plus Piercing Howl is very nice for the slow and vulnerability on all the enemies. Divine Power is one of the best cards that we can pick up in Act 2. It is one of the changes that we make to the deck because it gives us all the powerful that we ever need, and Bless, and it stays in the deck. All very nice things. Eventually we want to overcharge it just so that any extra energy we have can go into blessing Sylvie, giving her even more damage for a turn. Yeah, that pretty much does it. We are able to kill the front guy immediately. That was the actual solution. Rather than focus on any of these past enemies, we just made sure that all of our damage focuses the front guy rather than the back guy or some other silly bird. Because the front guy was the only guy who had the power to kill us. Gustav is going to be able to heal us and give us Ballad of Evasion, so we can pretty much forget about the rest of these guys' turns because they're not going to be able to hit us too much. We do have the extra evasion perk on Gustav, so we get 3 evasion instead of 2 on every hero. And I don't know if I took the extra buffer perk. I probably didn't. I might have. I don't know. But it can help you out a lot too. Battle of Evasion is one of the ways to stand in front of the final bosses and live a few turns, so pretty good stuff. Yeah, other than that, there's not too much to go over on this fight. We unfortunately aren't able to finish it in round 2. We do have to go all the way to round 3, meaning our card rewards aren't going to be quite as good. But that isn't really a problem for us in the long run, as we're happy just to get through and we don't have to worry about high score. One of the very nice things about not doing a high score run. Probably something a little bit more relaxing for GA, who's used to having to finish every fight turn 1. Here we get pretty lucky with a second Ballad of Evasion. Honestly, we're going to want a lot of those for the final bosses if we're not confident in taking them out on 1 turn, which, spoilers, we're not really confident. I'm not confident the entire run. GA gets less and less confident as we get closer. Unfortunately, no difference in the rewards there. Well, I should say, fortunately, no difference in the rewards there. We get shards for both. These fights, honestly, they go the same as the first fight, except a lot easier. We just power up Sylvie, kill them all in 1 turn, so I'm not going to be showing them too much. I will, however, show the Minotaur fight, because that one ends up being pretty fun. And I'll show you our kill here, because, you know, why not? And I also want to get our card rewards. We get a very lucky second Ballad of Evasion. Pretty nice. From the first fight that we did in the arena, we didn't get anything, by the way. So we discussed leaving here to not get the boon that GA doesn't like to have in our deck, because it does mess with Trace. You aren't able to look as deep into your deck as you otherwise would. So it's a little bit rough. It also doesn't do anything for us necessarily, because most of the time we're finishing fights turn 1, and it gives us energize rather than energy, so that only is relevant in turn 2. Our efforts, again, are focused on making sure Laia has Divine Power turn 1. It's always the Bless and the Powerful. The extra evasion here that we have from Ballad of... God, is it Ode of Power? I don't know. One of those things that Gustav plays is nice for surviving with Laia in this fight, as I know we're not going to be able to take this guy out in 1 turn, even though we would very much have the ability to if we kind of had a bit better of an energy situation plus a better like scavenge situation that we could set up in Sylvie's deck. Again, this is largely my fault. I didn't really set up like what our deck should be or how we would have a carry Sylvie, so yeah, my bad on that. Sorry, GA. We are able to get up to 7 vulnerable though, which is nice. We were not at max vulnerable for a large part of some of our fights. It really takes us 2 rounds at this point, even with double house in Laia's deck and the uproots in Andrin's and Gustav's deck. Actually, I don't know if Andrin has uproot yet. I might be getting ahead of myself once again. We weren't able to upgrade that other camouflage, which would be nice. Getting extra jaw is fairly useful. The stealth damage is also super useful. We do have the stealth perk that gives us 5% more damage per stealth stack, so it's 75% damage instead of 60% damage when you have 3 stacks of stealth. Which does apply for the entire card's duration. Here we are heavily debating whether we get Volley. Volley is just a good upgrade for a multi-shot. We're not going to be wanting multi-shot in the late game, and we are going to be wanting Volley, which does more base damage and kind of the same thing as 2 multi-shots. The only thing is that it costs 1 more instead of 1 less, or instead of taking up 1 more card. So, you know, it's usually better for us to take up 1 less card. Here we were really excited to potentially get a shop and trade out our gold for shards. We get another setup, we get another Chant of Accuracy, very good pickups here, getting very lucky in the start of Act 2, but the shop doesn't work out the way we intended, and it honestly is better for the run overall, because I wouldn't want to cheat. Oh, well.
It's shards for gold. That's what the shady deal is. It's shards for gold.
Well, you know what? It's fine. We'll just we're never spending gold.
Shop again.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we were getting anything out of it anyway. All right, we got the level.
Range mastery. Do that.
So you want me to take Shrill Tone and Zealotry? Pretty sure.
You got it. Fanfare. Well, actually, Shrill Tone's pretty good
because of the +1 sharp.
Yeah.
You see, I think it's Fanfare though, right?
No.
No?
I usually.
Damn. Okay. Well.
Hold on. Before you just save the game.
Yeah, I'll save the game before I level this up. That's a crazy pick here.
+1 sharp is really good.
Fanfare
Let's
will
do
just...
Fanfare then.
Okay. We're doing Fanfare?
It's up to you.
I picked it. I picked it.
Okay.
Alright. I hope the discussion on our level ups was interesting for you all. I found it very entertaining, trying to figure out like what would be the best thing for us to pick. It is very nebulous, kind of up in the air, like what is the best thing for us to possibly get, but like GA said, he wanted to put down a tracker and see how many fights that extra energy would matter for us. It kind of matters more towards the end, less towards the early game. It's a very similar level up problem with Gustav. Getting another setup in Sylvie's deck is another like great luck. We're just getting good luck all over the place, but we don't take it, and I actually think we should have. Hindsight's 2020 though. It would have been enabling us to take a few other cards and potentially have a little bit more energy on some of Sylvie's turns. Well, it's kind of net neutral energy, but there's times you're not able to spend the one energy or it's not really efficient to, and you can build up in energy for other sources. The Dimensional Crystal is very useful for doubling spells in Laya's deck. We can double up a Bless spell, even though Divine Power is not a spell. Lay on Pause is, as is Benediction, if we want to carry a purple benediction or something like that all the way through. This fight, not too interesting. We do get a chance of accuracy for it. We do get another option for setup in Sylvie's deck, and as well as another one in Andrin's deck. Andrin's one I do believe we will be skipping. Yeah, absolutely, because we already have enough setups in Andrin's deck, I guess. He actually does have an energy issue, so it makes sense not to take too many. I think we're already at like 2 or 3. 3 is usually the max that we would normally go for setups. Our card remove here is nice as our reward, and yeah, as we finally get to Tempest, we get another purple Dimensional Crystal, which we can use to double up on Gustav spells, and I get really excited by one of GA's comments as we're going over item picks here. Do I ever have a holy spell in Laya's deck? Am I ever like running a flash or something?
Yeah, you are. Oh. No, you're not.
You got me so excited. I was so excited.
The answer is no.
Lack of holy spells aside, we are very fortunate to get Tempest here as, well, not fortunate, we're guaranteed to get Tempest here. Tempest is going to be very strong for the remainder of the run. It gives us a draw every time we play a ranged attack. Quit shots are draws. It's one of the reasons that we're going to be getting rid of Shivs in Sylvie's deck, or I think we did get rid of a few Shivs in Sylvie's deck. Nice to get those out of the way early while we still could, while it's free to get rid of them, and we can't get rid of them in Act 3. This fight goes down much the same as the rest. It's not too much of a challenge for our team, especially at this point with all the powerful cards we get, but GA makes a very funny comment about Andrin's deck.
Do I take Scavenge?
Probably, right?
His deck is starting to get really diluted.
Up to you then. I mean, he's... his deck is literally as small as it can be.
It is. I've got a curse in the deck.
A curse that draws you a card.
Oh, nice. I'll take the stupid Scavenge.
Here at the penultimate fight of Act 2, we do get an option for some shards, some gold too, but this gold is kind of useless. So we take it because we're pretty confident in our run at this point. You can see the enemies have a lot of HP, but 1 camouflage and volley later, the enemies don't have so much HP anymore. Then we're able to do a rapid fire and a few quick shots to finish it off. We could have even scavenged another quick shot back if we really needed to. We get a nice piercing howl on Laya's deck, so we can apply more slow and vulnerability more consistently on all enemies here. We get an event that GA's never seen before, which is the Harpy Collar event, because he just never goes the Tempest route since he does a lot of high score runs, and maybe he hasn't done it for quite some time. It's one of the other reasons I wanted to pick Sylvie and go Tempest, is just because GA doesn't normally get the chance to go this route. And I've picked this route quite a bit. You may know that if you've watched some of my other videos. The Piercing Howl is unfortunately not too useful this turn, the blue one that I just picked up, that is. However, we do get the other Piercing Howls, which are very useful. We have Laya's passive, which is discounting a lot of the cards in our hand, making that Divine Power go to 1. That's one of the reasons we want to overcharge it later, is because that 1 cost Divine Power could be overcharged for 2 more and give us 4 more Bless. It will be a priority for us to do in Act 2. We get Ballad of Evasion this turn, unfortunately, but we are able to set up a Ballad of Evasion. We set up the better Ballad of Evasion for next turn. That way we're able to survive a turn of Ignito. We can set up for Melodic Rhythm. I don't play the Deflect because I don't want to draw one of the Ballad Evasions, specifically the good one that gives Inspire. And here we have Sylvie's passive giving us the energy reduction on all of our important cards to get energy reduction on, except for Falcon Shot, but that's okay. We don't really need it on Falcon Shot. We don't have the most damage here, so one of the considerations that we have to make Sylvie's deck is like how much we want to draw versus how much we want to gain Sharp. So sometimes we want to draw a lot more with Falcon Shot and like Volley, because the Elven Agility allows us to draw based on the amount of energy we pay, but sometimes we don't really care about drawing that much. So we're able to do a Camouflage Rapid Fire, and turns out we thought through this turn almost just enough. We get him down to 26 HP, and we know that he heals on the next turn, but I don't think he's going to be getting much of a chance to heal. All we need is anything that does damage to the back row, which Sylvie has a lot of in her deck. Including her bird. So yeah, pretty much guaranteed to win. We get a purple Tactical Thinking. I think very heavily about it for a while because I'm like, ooh, purple, it's very shiny and very cool. Not super useful. Rain of Arrows is on Andrin. Unfortunately, we want it on Sylvie. That is going to be one of our win conditions for most of the fights going forward, is doubling up on Rain of Arrows once Sylvie hits level 4. These items aren't super useful outside of Aquamarine Bracelet. We do get Lava Crystal, which we can get powerful from every turn. Might as well take something here generally. The real question is, do we take the energy on Laya so that she can have more overcharged Divine Bless, or do we take the Lava Crystal on Laya so that she could... Actually, that's not really a question. Like, we're sitting here, and I know that energy on Laya, better. But we were thinking about energy on Sylvie, which we thought at the time could be more useful since we weren't sure how expensive her deck was going to get overall. For instance, that could let us take one more expensive setup, or flip through her deck one more time and take some other stuff. We also fill out the item slots for Andrin and Gustav there. We are going to be heading towards the blue portal because we thought that would be easiest, and then I will show off my decks here as we finish constructing them. Thing where I look at all our decks as we leave. Also, we'll need a save right after this. I got the Rain of Arrows, and we're looking to get rid of maybe a multi-shot. Maybe the Volley goes first before a multi-shot, probably.
Yeah, I'll get a Vanish in Act 4, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it. Okay. For our route in Act 2 here, well, it wasn't really pre-planned, but we figured we won't go to the Beggars because if we go to the Beggars, we can't pay them money to get better stuff at the Armory anyways. We do want to go to the Armory. It will give us more options for items, and we're looking for every item option that we can. We don't have a way to double up on Rain of Arrows just yet, but it does quite a bit of damage on its own. Enough for us to finish the fight in a very short amount of time. Battle of Evasion is picked up on Andrin because we figure we're going to have Chant of Initiative in Andrin's deck played first most of the time. We get a little bit of cold resistance here. I'm skipping over a lot of these fights. The other fight that we didn't get any cards. Here I do want a second setup, I believe, just because setup is very nice to have for getting the Battle of Evasions on top of our deck when we need them to. And also drawing our Sharps early on when we want to draw Sharp on Gustav. So that is the other reason for setup. We get some card remove choices there. It's not super interesting. What is interesting is Frozen Arrows. It is +1 Sharp charges. Usually really good on Sylvie with Tempest because you have the +1 extra Sharp. But we did have purple Lockpicks, which is quite a bit of Sharp to get immediately, straight away. So Dark Hood is one of those things that can give Sylvie a lot more damage later on down the line. And we can get more charges on Sharp for Gustav instead, which will let him Chant of Accuracy Sylvie to much higher values very fast. We can get some gold here by selling Belfior's Horn. It doesn't matter either way. But at this point, we were kind of in the mindset of like, hey, let's try to get more gold in this run if we ever can, because, like, you know, more gold is better. It's more fun. This fight was a little bit of a challenging fight if I'm showing this much of it. I want to believe anyways. Maybe? I think I'm about to skip ahead here in a second, though. Because, yeah. Here we are at the beginning of round 1. It's not too crazy. We have stealth, we have rain of arrows, we have volley to follow it up if we really need to, and a bunch of quick shots. So things are good here, but we are going to be heading off to level up now. And I'll let our past selves talk about our level up choices. Stanza 3 cards, man. What's with them?
Hey, level up.
Level up. Ah, Laya doesn't get a level up. That's sad. Gustav gets a level up.
Now, here's an interesting here's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Do we ever, if we can't find a card remove, do we keep Andrin level 3 for the rest of the game?
No. Eventually we will level up Andrin to get the +3 mark. I think we'll need the maximum damage against the final bosses.
Okay, fine.
But we can hold off until we get a card remove option.
Remove. Yeah. Repulse is so bad.
Encore. Encore I'm obviously getting.
Yeah, don't level up Laya, I don't think.
Yeah, Laya just doesn't have anything. So we do indeed wait to level up both Laya and Andrin, so we don't put a bad card into their decks. And then we take the Rift Fight because we want to go to the Armory and it gives us more items. Again, main goal was just get as many items as possible. Nothing really picked up here at the end of the fight as far as cards go, but items, we get an option for Eldritch Sword, which is kind of cool. Honestly, most of these don't really do anything for us at this point. I don't know if we take any of these, actually. They all look kind of bad, but I did want to show off what we got. Here, we're hoping for good stuff going to the Armory. We didn't know what what Laya's cast Blessing on us did, but we were hoping that it was casting Bless on us, because that would be 1.5 more damage for Sylvie, which is better than most things that we could get there. So, turns out she did put Bless on us, and a little bit of Powerful. The Powerful is unnecessary, because we're going to have Powerful anyway, but, like, you know, it's cool. Wild Hunt getting it first turn is kind of cool. We are able to put a lot more mark on the back boy there. Although I guess we have to reset the turn because we don't draw into the cards that we need, which specifically the card that we're looking for is always that Wild Hunt, as it gives us the Inspire we need to give 7 cards to Laya and make sure Laya has Divine Power in her opening hand. Scry into Expected Prophecy is another way that we get the Divine Power almost guaranteed, because we can kind of filter out the rest of her deck and draw into it if we need to. Then her energy passive is able to save us a lot of energy going into the further future turns. As you can see, we did upgrade the Piercing Howl. I don't think I had a chance to talk about it yet because I've been skipping over all these fights, and this is the first fight I'm actually showing from this act, I'm now realizing. But yeah, we are able to overcharge Divine Power a lot of time, get us up to 14 Bless. We have that 7 Powerful on Sylvie, and the starting Sharp is pretty nice. The Chant of Accuracy being 4 Sharp instead of 3 is also very nice for us. Definitely a point in favor of taking the +1 Sharp passive that Gustav can get. Not to mention that it could increase Mind damage, which won't really matter for Sylvie ever, since her Sharp only ever increases piercing damage, but could matter for Gustav potentially, and could matter for Andrin potentially if we really wanted it to. Here we're just like, let's take out the front dragons just in case, and then the quick shots will be able to hit the back guy. It's, again, not quite getting the kill, but that's okay. There's nothing we really need to worry about that he's going to do. He does a little bit of damage, but we're confident we're going to be able to heal enough in time that it's not going to make too big of a difference going forward. We do get some cool cards here. We are more of a fan of Meditate than we are of Omnipotence, because Meditate is guaranteed card draw and energy, whereas Omnipotence is not necessarily more energy, and it doesn't give us the best card draw, as it only trades in the cards and loses you net 1 card if you include itself. Proficient is going to be better for us with Andrin rather than getting the 1 less energy, because we're fine on energy, but we would like more draw for consistency's sake. Continuum Blade is also very nice on Andrin, but he doesn't want to take it because, you know, we already have Twin Blades and he doesn't like slices as much as I do. Could be. Alright. You ready for this?
What is this?
Gotta run. Gotta challenge fate.
You record, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We just got to do this.
I have no idea.
All right.
And sometimes, yeah, look at it.
You got it.
Yeah.
I did decide to show the live footage there, as I wanted to make sure I was showing that stuff in real time so that anybody who wanted to could follow along. We take the golden shards reward at the beginning of this fight because we might as well get more shards, and then we have a very interesting discussion about card rewards at the end of this fight. Yeah, that's about right.
Easy peasy.
We really need a barrage though for the final fights.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I'm worried about. Surely a third setup's too much, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't hate Healing Serenade.
On Andrin? No way.
On any of the Andrin or Gustav, just for the final bosses.
No way. No, are you crazy? What? No, definitely not.
I like upgrading it. I like upgrading it to blue and having it dispel for the final bosses.
Gotcha.
And we're going into multiple turns.
I guess I was able to diss Healing Serenade enough that GA decided not to take it. Honestly, it's not the worst play, but I do prefer Mass Dispel. The thinking, though, is that Andrin doesn't really have much to do in his late game, although sometimes I like to put him into damage rolls. Not something that GA does quite as often, but it's a little just difference in playstyle there. Nothing wrong or right about either. Our Frog Boy getting stunned here is real bad. This is also one of the problems of us not being able to buy items. There was a speed +2 ring earlier on, which would have put us at 24 speed, making Andrin faster than the dragon, who in turn could have made the rest of the team faster than the dragon, even with the frost. However, the dragon got to go first, freeze Gustav, and slow down the rest of our team. So very, very sketchy fight here. Not at all really according to plan, but that's part of the problem when you can't buy things, I guess. You just get less item options, and that includes less speed options overall. Obviously, we could have also had a Cloak of Speed earlier, which would have solved all speed problems and given more resistance to Andrin, but we didn't take that either. So we have to set up kind of carefully. We know that we're unlikely to be able to kill him on turn 1 because we're not having the full setup turn from Gustav, so we don't even worry about getting powerful on that turn. Instead, we just worry about setting up as much sharp as possible for Sylvie, and then we want to double shot a rapid fire if we get the chance. So the idea is to set up for that next turn, get Divine Power on Laya on turn 2, which we are going to be able to do, and she even goes before Andrin, which isn't a huge deal because she had Inspire from the previous turn. We have Delay Response, which we have the buffer on, so we can make sure that Sylvie gets sped up later and is able to go faster than the dragon. we do have to draw the speed up. We are also able to get to max vulnerability. We get Expert Tracker on this turn. It was very fun, like, sort of puzzle figuring out whether we had to rethink our fighting strategy going, like, early on, or going all the way back and like resetting to a save, or just, you know, adjusting to the stun and the massive damage that the dragon does turn 1. Thankfully, we were able to adjust, so we didn't have to waste too much more time. Getting the energy from Dark Miasma, I think is pointless there because we were going to have full energy regardless, but in case we weren't, well, no, we have 9 energy. No, we get 10. Okay, yeah, we weren't going to have full energy regardless, so we get up to a full, nice 10 energy. We do want to draw Rapid Fire and use that, but we decided to double up Rain of Arrows anyways because we figured that would be more than enough damage. Healing Serenade, again, we find another one, but it's kind of terrible. We get a Mass Dispel on Laya, which I talk about because, you know, we were really thinking about Healing Serenade, so I was like, Mass Dispel is kind of better, but again, we want to be pouring all of our energy into Bless and buffs if we can, if we possibly can, though Mass Dispel could keep us safe in the long run, so GA is like, yeah, sure, fine, it's probably okay. Assassin's Tools does change our Sharp plan quite a bit as well. We are able to get a lot of Sharp from our other cards now, so it'll pay off more than Lockpicks most likely a lot of the time. It lets us get Vanishes, it lets Vanishes be even better. We apply like 4 Stealth, and then we get 4 Sharp off of that. And then the Camouflage is like it's like a 6 Sharp something or whatever, plus the Stealth. It's so good. very nice for us to have there with the +1 stealth charges as well. Here I will be going over the decks that I'm going to be making, so feel free to pause during that time if you want to see. And of course I can't help but look at the item shop to see what we could have gotten. Let's look at all this stuff we could have got. Oh, purple dark hood would have been so nice. Oh well.
So here's another thing that is interesting. If you don't level up now, you actually don't accumulate experience. You can't double level up.
Oh, so like we need to level up?
Yeah, you accumulate experience way slower. This happened to me in Mantastic, where we held a level up for a long time in Act 2, and I'm not sure if it's also apply here.
Gotcha.
I think that I actually think we don't level up at all.
Record our deck updates. Should we have like all this good stuff? Got Battle of Conquest, which is gonna be really good. Got a second Vanish. Oh, you got a second Vanish instead of upgrading a Vanish. I see.
I think that's better, yeah. It gives me so much. I can upgrade things later as we get closer to the Archon.
Yeah, because we have a lot of draw with the other enchantment. I do agree, Vanish got a lot better. Going into Act 4, we were feeling pretty confident. We wanted to get a card remove as soon as possible. Or you get a card upgrade option here, and we did try to take it. However, it proved too much to give the enemies plus 20% extra resistances. We just couldn't kill them fast enough. But without it, we don't actually have that much of a problem. So we tried like probably 3 or 4 times to kill these enemies with the Melancholy. The Sads getting shuffled into our deck, of course, did ruin our game plan a little bit, but really it was just the resistances that we couldn't break through. Not enough sight application on the team overall to break through high amounts of resistance. We probably would need someone like Nezglect for that, who could have probably served the team better. Potentially, it's hard to say. Nezglect's very good, Laya's also very good, but with Sylvie in particular, there's a big argument to take Nezglect over Laya, given the sight application that he does passively, with the energy thing that you're getting for skills regardless. So, though, a turn like this does prove a pretty big point in having our Benediction get doubled and having Divine Power get increased, so... Yeah, able to apply a lot of Bless on very low amount of energy, starting 4, right? Turning into kind of 8 energy with her passive. Very, very good stuff. We also get a lot of Chant of Accuracies here, so we're able to get a good amount of damage built up. This is kind of what we'd expect most turns to be able to do. We just had such a hard time with the resistances. And the HP pools, of course, get a lot higher when you get to this act as well. 969 HP, we're almost getting to the thousands here. We do have the double shot Rain of Arrows combination as well as Vanish, so we have really everything you'd think that we need to win a fight here. So we have the camouflage as well, getting us even more sharp. We're able to take out most of the enemies with just the Rain of Arrows. Then we do a Vanish Rain of Arrows, and yeah, we have more than enough damage if they don't have plus 20% extra resistances. Crazy how that works out. Adrenaline is a good card for Sylvie to pick up here. It lets us take more setups potentially, but we also just want to play as much as we can, and our cards are getting quite expensive. Again, the one thing I am nervous about, and GA is also nervous about, is that we don't have a Barrage in Sylvie's deck. There's no way to guarantee that, and it is the best single target card that we could find on her for sure. We spend a decent amount of time just looking at all the options here for what we could get as items. In the end, I think we just go for the weapon pile because the weapons was a relatively good pick for the items that we had left. Yeah. And we unfortunately fail, so we don't get a legendary thing. It was unlikely for it to happen. Flaming Sword's not going to be too useful in this sort of run. We get an option to remove a card, which is very nice. It means we can level up both Andrin and Laya, so hopefully they can get to level 5 before the final fight here. They did actually miss out on some experience from the node and from the earlier fight because we hadn't leveled them up. So they're going to be lower level than Sylvie and Gustav going forward. At least in the short term. Lower experience level, not like actually lower level. Everybody's still level 4 right now. Doubling up of Rain of Arrows is enough with all the buffs that we put on Sylvie. Another Ballad of Evasion here on Andrin is an option. Potentially something we actually should have taken. Definitely hindsight being 2020 there. I feel like I'm building towards the final bosses being a problem because they were. And I will be showing the entirety, or I think a lot of the final boss, the Archon, because I thought that was a very fun fight to live through live. So basically embrace my suffering and GA's suffering that I put him through. It's great. We do get to remove the Power Slave in Gustav's deck. Every remove here that we get is very nice. Of course, Laia and Andrin had to remove their enchantment cards from leveling up. And GA was even considered not leveling up Andrin at all for the rest of the run. But I was like, nah, we need that +3 mark. It's going to be so valuable to get like 50 mark on the final bosses later on. This fight, again, wasn't too challenging for us. Ends much the same way as all the rest of our fights have been ending, as I've shown more and more of as time goes on, just because I want to get the full feel for it. But I'll leave it to our past selves to talk about these card reward choices.
What do you think about Healing Serenade?
I don't think we'll need it.
What about Bluff?
I was thinking about Bluff. Bluff is kind of interesting.
Because it does help us chain our...
Yeah, it does.
We're struggling on warrior cards, right? So
we are struggling on warrior cards. Yeah.
It's also good with Scry.
I could take it.
Yeah. Maybe we should have taken the
Consecrate. Yeah. So going into this zone, we knew we weren't going to be able to buy those slimes because that would constitute spending money, which we're not allowed to do on this run, of course. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to get to level 5 actually, because we didn't do Wilbur's questline earlier on, but it turns out that's not important for Wilbur's questline whatsoever. That fight, again, super easy. Barely an inconvenience, and we do get Battle of Conquest for our troubles, which is pretty good. We want to get multiple Battle of Conquest because we're going to be fighting multiple of them a turn. The option to get the most experience here is to take our time and read the history book, which does boost us all the way up to level 5, Laia and Andrin included in that. So more than enough experience right there. Really fantastic event there if you want to level up early. Otherwise, I think you kind of have to go the Straw Hat route or get like perfects on everything leading up to this fight, like literally every fight leading up to this fight, as well as taking as many fights as possible without reading. So like I think you can take the other option there. Again, this fight we took Cold Hands. It was actually a little bit scary. So we got 30 bleed there, almost dying, but totally fine in the long run. Yeah. Here we're getting a free upgrade though. That was one of the reasons that we took that difficult fight. Evanescence here could draw us multiple cards, but we wouldn't get the energy back on it, so it's not necessarily the best option here to do that. Whereas Ballad of Conquest could give us, you know, that much more Sharp or Bless, and it still stays in the deck, so it's pretty good. Rain of Arrows, not really worth upgrading necessarily, whereas Adrenaline, we're potentially going to want the energy on later turns because we're going to have to go multiple turns. So trying to walk you through as best I can all our card options there before we get into the Twins boss fight with Sylvia at kind of low health, though we were very optimistic about killing the Twins early on. GA especially, he was like, yeah, we've definitely got this. I'm totally throwing him under the bus right now because, oh my god, it was the Twins fight so hard. I was legitimately worried about the Twins. One, they're physically resistant, so I knew that could be a problem without a bunch of site application. I am used to having Nesglex resistance reduction as well on some of the Twins, so that we can at least make sure one of them dies round 1. We do have Ballad of Evasions though, so that's something that we can use to potentially survive some rougher turns, though ideally you want to kill the Twin up front round 1 before he ever gets the chance to do retaliation. Otherwise it's very hard to attack into the retaliation and survive, especially if your carry is at extremely low health like Sylvia is going into the fight. Though Leon Paz doing it doubled is quite a good option for us to pick there. I'll just say that much. We do get a nice encore early. We have setup as well, but we want to get as much Sharp as possible this turn, so I opt to just cycle through our entire deck, put Battle of Evasion on top in case we need it, and that gives us basically all of our Chant of Accuracies. as well as a little bit of extra vulnerability that we can get with the frog, who has some energy left over, which I think ends up being kind of nice actually in this fight in particular. We do get to double up on multi-shot. Gives us quite a bit of sharp. We're up to 40 already. We have 13 blessed, but we don't get the kill on either of them. And that retaliation is going to be very, very hard to get past, as we need to attack into a retaliation now at some point. And at this point, we've already done the fight, I think, once or twice, so we had to make sure that, like, we were playing everything very, I guess, what's the right word? Properly? Basically, we didn't get as much mark as we needed on first turn, which is why we weren't able to kill the front guy early on. The vulnerability we were just barely getting enough of, and even then we could have used it a little bit more. Thankfully they don't have reinforce, so it's not as big of a problem as it possibly could be, but we're still going to have to attack through 1200 HP. It's not a huge deal, as Sylvie can do a ton of damage, but it is something that's hard to get past, so we are able to double up on Ballad of Conquest, which is a nice get for us. And we have Ballad of Evasion to fall back on if we do have to take some damage this turn, which we are going to have to, as I'll show you. I think we I think we die here. If I'm being brutally honest. Okay, we have Elven Agility, but let's see. Do you set up for... Wait, do we have camouflages left? Yeah. Do we set up for camouflage? Cool, we got it. Okay. So that's the most damage we can have, is camouflage into Rain of Arrows. Okay, you're alive. Yeah, it's volley. And he won't retaliate,
Vanish
right?
volley?
Yeah, vanish volley. That's it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Andrin dying, that's acceptable.
That's actually really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. that was really good. Oh, yeah, we had just enough there.
Not bad.
Oh man. Oh, that's scary. Don't take anything here. We're never getting block. Don't take anything here. Okay. Gonna save, just cause saving seems like the right thing to do before taking these final items. One Death's Door.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll go straight to the church. Get that removed.
How?
It's oh, I guess yeah. It costs money, right?
Yeah, it does cost money. Oh my god. Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is something. Amazing items aside, my favorite part about that segment was just how excited we were to have just one person die and get past the twins fight. It should tell you something about how tough it was. But anyways, yeah, these are all incredible items. Getting the Golden Laurel on Andrin is going to make sure that we always have Inspire, making Hunter, or the Hunter's tracking, whatever, way less important to get turn 1 with Andrin. Mountain King does make it so that any deflect that we have in either Andrin's or Gustav's deck, probably Gustav because we want Gold Laurel, in Andrin's item pool, Mountain King will now reduce Gustav's cards, so if Gustav was having energy issues, well, he's not anymore. And then we get an upgraded energy ring in the form of Sapphire Ring, so Laya starts with even more energize, and Sylvie gets nothing, unfortunately. Nothing we felt like we needed there. We are going to go for the top option here. We're going to take another card remove because we can't remove any cards at the church even when we get there. This fight, we are able to finish round 1. It's not even that hard. We don't even need double up Rain of Arrows or anything that special, just double up multi-shot. Good enough for us. Demonic Tutor is a nice get for us with Laya. It can kind of save us and energy, especially if we can get a free upgrade for it, which we're not guaranteed to get. We're able to remove the Death's Door in Andrin's deck, which, again, we would have been able to remove it if we got to the final spot right before the boss, but it is nice to just get extra card removes here, as we have some redundant cards in some people's decks, like Odivore at this point, not super necessary with Gustav. We're getting powerful every turn through Ballad of Conquest or with Laya's Divine Power, and that's going to suit us just fine. As for Lia's deck, I think we end up taking out, we took out Rapid Fire, which was a huge mistake, honestly. I think we did that earlier. Poison Spray is going to be a cheaper option in the long run, but we honestly needed Rapid Fire for just more single target damage, because we're not getting Barrage at this point. Like, we have one more fight left, and we're pretty sure it's off the table, though. There's always hope, I suppose. Here we get Enlightened on Sylvie. It's a little bit more Bless. It's more Inspire, potentially, for later turns. It's pretty good overall. And this is our last chance to upgrade cards. I think I upgraded Mass Dispel here to get rid of, or to give us some buffer, because I wasn't expecting us to take too long on the boss fights, and the buffer was going to prove more useful if we had to kind of save or stay alive in a clone turn. We want to upgrade those Vanishes, because it does go from 1 stealth charge to 3 stealth charges as a base, meaning I think it'll be 4 or 5 for Sylvie. Very good card there, because that's also sharp, mind you. 4-0. Yeah, 5 stealth on Sylvie. Ooh, so nice. So one of the things we're going to spend our limited shards on is definitely those Vanishes. Setup would be nice to spend our shards on as well. We get Clarity staying in the deck because removing Sanctify is going to be necessary for surviving multiple turns of the final boss, who turns Sanctify into Dark, which could explode everybody, including himself, but he has so much HP he normally doesn't care about the, 500 damage he might take from 100 Sanctify or something like that when you have a full Sanctify team. Yeah, not actually dealing with the most shards here, and we don't have the cheap altar that we potentially could have gotten. We did actually save scum a little bit to see if we could get the cheap altar, but we didn't get it. This going into the final fight here definitely is a little bit worrying. We get money at this point in time, which is kind of like whatever. Like, we might as well do Hypothermia. We're not really worried about losing this fight whatsoever. So I will show you a little bit of the start of this fight. It's again, easy like all the rest. The sight that we're getting from Andron from the Vigilance is, like, I feel like partially relevant. We're moving, 3 resistance on everybody? But we'll skip ahead to Sylvie's turn here. We get a double shot Rain of Arrows with Camouflage and a Vanish, so we can stealth both those damages. It's funny because the Big Knight is actually the one who survives really well. Upgrade on the Poison Spray, by the way, also for it being 2 energy instead of 3. Very big upgrade for us there. We get one last chance at Healing Serenade, which you can bet GA was talking to me about, because he's like, yeah, I think we might need Healing Serenade. And I'm like, I don't know if Healing Serenade is going to be enough for us there, but maybe I should have listened. Maybe that would have been the difference maker. As for our last card remove, kind of hard to figure out what we want to get rid of, but we figure Volley is not going to be super useful. Rain of Arrows could be actually very relevant for the clones in the Hanshek fight, which we do need to kill before they go, and we don't have the best speed manipulation that we could, because again, we couldn't buy pets at all this entire run. Another sort of like handicap you might not be thinking about. It's just, yeah, lack of pets. Getting rid of Benediction in Lia's deck, we're figuring we're going to have enough Bless through other sources, through Ballad of Conquest and stuff like that. We're not being, it's not like super energy efficient as it stands, and we're going to have Lay on Pause if we want to get the double up on a spell. So it's totally fine energy-wise to get rid of that Benediction there. Getting into this Hanshek fight, though, yeah, this does prove to be a bit of a challenging fight, as does the final boss. We do have to try several times to make sure that we're getting the card orders correct here. I'm not showing all the attempts because this video is long enough as is, and I want to cut out as much as possible of the fluff. So I'm not showing you the times where we have to retrace to make sure that we're cutting out the right cards instead of being a little bit greedy to get the best possible turn that we could if the card was like second from the bottom or second from the top or whatever. Like I said, though, the Golden Laurel does give us a lot of Inspire. Turn 1, it gives us Inspire on every hero, gives us a little bit more defensive and healing capabilities. We don't want to have Hanshek at no vulnerability. We know that he's going to get rid of his slow this next turn, and we want to save a Piercing Howl for the turn following, because otherwise we're not going to have fast enough heroes in order to go again on turn 2 once the clones are up. Just a little bit of an unfortunate way that we ended up trying to do this fight. We are able to get up to 15 Bless with that one Divine Power, though, so that is testament to how well our energy situation is going with Laya. Mountain King, it makes Evanescence cost 1, which is very nice for us. Mountain King just being a really nice pickup. God, energy on Gustav is not a problem whatsoever, is it? It's not a problem until it is. We opt to save the Encore for the next turn, where we could get potentially a Bout of Conquest. That is what we're going to be hoping for. We do have the delay response on Sylvie that makes it so we can attack the clones this turn, because we're like, oh wait, yeah, there's literally nothing we can do to be faster than the clones in time. So we're going to need to probably like double shot Rain of Arrows them with a Vanish. Ideally with like a Camouflage and a Vanish. We do get our extra energy from our boon that we had in deck. We're really pulling out all the stops. However, we can do Elven Agility or Falcon Shot. It's really kind of like up to us, like what we want to do there. The second Vanish is just enough to kill all the clones with the second Rain of Arrows, and does a fair amount of damage to Hanshek too. He's down about 3,000 HP. He's not even max vulnerability. He is pretty much max mark though, and he's looking mean. He's gonna kill all our pets, which Harley actually can die because we ended up taking the extra sharp on Sylvie just to make sure we got up to max sharp as fast as possible. Even though that might have been a little bit overkill. Harley also wasn't going to be doing too much, so we didn't really care about keeping them alive. This fight took a lot of thinking, so that's why you can see us considering each and every turn quite heavily, even though this is at, I think, 300% speed. We do need the Ballad of Evasion for Andrin on the third turn. I believe that's what we ended up deciding on. There was a good reason for it. Basically, Gustav was going to be guaranteed the Ballad of Evasion, but he wasn't fast enough. Whereas Andrin was fast enough to put Ballad of Evasion on us before Hanshek goes again, since he's going to be speeding himself up this turn. So, just another one of those things that we had to like really carefully consider. Now, thankfully, we're going to be doing a lot of damage with Sylvie, as we're at 50 sharp. We can apply even more Bless with the Divine Guidance here. That does give us an overcharged Divine Power. And yeah, 26 Bless. He's at max vulnerable. I saved the other Howl just in case we need another turn of vulnerable. We have the Ballad of Evasion that we can put on us this turn to survive this hit from Hanshek, as without it we would most certainly lose some people. Even with it, it's kind of close, I believe, because he puts a lot of fire on us, transforms a lot of that fire into dark, and that does a ton of damage. At this point, I'm sharpening up Andrin because, you know, he has some damage cards in his deck. All in all, we did like a good chunk of damage to him with just Harley, but we're not going to be able to kill him this turn. We have Poison Arrows, which does get reduced in cost. It is only a 1-cost card now for 3 attacks. Very efficient card, probably the most efficient single target card we could possibly get. Barrage is actually less efficient than that Poison Arrows would be, but Barrage is a single card that does a lot of damage, and I think it has much higher base damage, so I might even be wrong about that. Though the base damage that we get from the Bless and the Sharp probably is more than making up for it. Again, we're close on killing him this second round, but we do have to survive one more, which is what made this fight so darn difficult. That last 2,000 HP really ends up going a long way for Hanshek. Sadly, we do lose our bird. Gustav dying was just something that we had to accept. There's just no way to save him in this fight, not with the cards that we had available. Maybe that healing serenade could have kept him alive, I'm not sure. Though I don't have high hopes for that, as I think we were kind of in rough shape regardless here. We do have 2,000 more HP to get through those, and we want to have Powerful on Sylvie. So we don't actually have a good way of applying Powerful this turn, which is a big problem because Gustav is dead. One of the things I wasn't considering when I was doing that Divine Power earlier on Laya's turn. So might have been able to play this a little bit more efficiently, but as long as we don't lose anybody else, it's totally a-okay. And we're unlikely to. As you can see, we're doing a lot of damage. Poison Spray we can play again. We're drawing, thanks to Tempest, drawing honestly too much because we're cycling through our deck and not able to play all these cards for the really expensive energy. Poison Spray doesn't quite get it done, but we are able to speed up Sylvie just fast enough to go before Hanshek again, and that will end up getting us the kill. Very, very tight fights here. It's hard to explain our feelings in the moment, but I'll try my best to let our past selves explain just exactly how we're feeling. Just delay you, is what you said?
Yeah, no, don't delay.
Just delay you. Just delay response, Sylvie. Got it. On it.
All right, we're good.
You're so worried I'm gonna play that delay. Oh, that's so funny. All right, so we're on to the final fight, but I don't.
I mean, this is.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I don't know. I don't know. You've got faith. That makes me want to have faith.
We'll be fine.
We do get 2 good.
Okay, let's do this. Let's. It's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's take my dog out. We've got early days. Early starts rumbling.
Yeah, I'd say we could call it for now.
Yeah.
We might have to go back to Act 4.
You're right.
And as late as it was for us then, it's even later for me now at 5 a.m. in the morning, so excuse me if I do sound a little bit tired, but I am trying to get this out relatively on time. You know, a week later than it should be, but at least on a Thursday, right? Anywho, we decided instead of going straight back to Act 4, we're going to just give this fight another go, kind of see what cards we might be missing out on, think about the routes while we're doing this fight one more time. I theorize that there is one more thing that we could have tried that we didn't do last time. GA kind of saw it too. There's like, basically, we messed up in our turn priority for the twin fight there. Or sorry, for the clone when he gets it summoned out. So we're going to be trying to do a little bit better steps there, and you'll get to see exactly what that turns into, because... yeah, as you can tell by us not going back and doing the entirety of the act, which I would have just shown you instead, we actually do successfully win this fight, as tough as it was. The thought was we could have gotten a Purple Tempest, gone back to the center area in Act 4, gotten potentially even better items. Not necessarily needed the level up for the twins fight, but it maybe not have mattered anyways, because we could have gotten better card rewards with maybe getting even a barrage, which could make all the difference, especially because that guy was at 6,000 HP, which, yeah, 6,000 HP is a lot. GA was like, we're playing pretty efficiently, right? Like, what more could we have done? And it was just like, well, there's some things, right? Like, maybe, just maybe, we can power out our turns correctly so that we have Sylvie get an attack on the light turns rather than the dark turns. That was actually what ended up being our problem. Because we wanted to make sure that we could kill the clone, we ended up having Sylvie go a little bit too slow. And she wasn't able to attack the Archon much during the time that he was in light phase, which doesn't put dark on us, whereas when he's in the dark phase, does put dark on us and then kills us. Yeah, can you tell that I'm tired? Just a little bit tired trying to explain this all. And also trying to do this from memory, as I did play this run a little bit ago. God, is it like 2-3 weeks now? Oh man. So much time has passed. Anyways, there's that slice being a little bit of a useful draw card. We have the Twin Blade, so it's basically a completely free card with Andrin's passive. Just puts a little bit of more mark on. We actually are kind of low on mark when you consider that we have to lose mark charges going into the final round with the Archon. So we actually might have been better off with the Continuum Blade in the final boss fight, specifically the final boss fights against the Archon, as we could have potentially gotten him up to 50 mark guaranteed in the second part of the fight in round 3. You'll see. However, we do get lucky on Gustav's turn. Gustav got like 5 chance of accuracies like straight away, so we're like up to 50 sharp like as fast as possible with Sylvie. We get the double Ballad of Conquest. Gustav has 6 evasion right now, which is just kind of ludicrous. It makes me happy though. We get a Divine Guidance, which we don't actually need. We can hold on to that Divine Power and save it if we wanted to make sure that we have powerful left in the deck, which we will need for later turns. But I believe we have one more source of that. We're not planning to lose Gustav this fight, even though he does have a Death's Door in the deck, which was causing him energy issues, which actually ends up making the fanfare a lot better for Gustav now that I think about it, just because the energy problems were kind of apparent in the later stages of this game here. and we needed as much powerful as possible to do maximum damage output. So we were able to get the second attack turn with Sylvie against the Archon, so he's down 5,000 HP, but we're going to have a hard time attacking into his dark phase. We also have to deal with the fact that we have to put Doom on Sylvie, which means that we're going to have to put a slow on her, which means that we're going to be taking up another card in her deck, and yeah, it all gets a little bit rough from there. We also don't have a lot of healing to get through all this. Healing Serenade would have healed us for like, I don't know, 5, 6 maybe. I'm not sure, it wouldn't have been that much. Maybe with the Battle of Conquest it would have been more, actually, thinking about it. I think that was, yeah, I think that's true. The Master Spell ends up being very useful. Here, I decided to do a Lay on Pause just to heal both Laya and Andrin, even though we could have gotten more Bless on Sylvie. That ends up being the very, very correct call, as both of them would have died on a turn that we needed them to stay alive. Here we make sure that we're having Ballad of Evasions at the right time. We keep the second Ballad of Evasion in Gustav's deck rather than doubling up on like a Ballad of Conquest again, getting as much Bless as possible. Again, we're focused on the survivability, which is what we desperately need. So we don't even have Sylvie attack during the dark turn because it just wasn't worth it to us. Instead, we're going to have her use her energy on getting rid of the Sads, and then we'll maybe get rid of a little bit of the buffer as well, even though it's going to be giving him evasion, because that's kind of the best we can do. But we'll have max energy for the next turn where he won't be having evasion. We could slow down Sylvie potentially with a delay response if we really need to, although actually did I get rid of it? I'm not sure. No, I don't think I did. Sadly, we aren't able to mark him up too much with all the buffer either. We kind of need more ways to get rid of that, but I'll let us explain in real time. So much thought going into every turn here.
Yeah, I mean, he still has 9,000 health.
Yeah. What's 9,000 health, though? Okay,
you didn't use any of your discounts. You could have had 2 discounts. You got none.
Yep. That's just sort of the nature of the deck, though, right? Like, at this point.
Yeah. Detox, delay. Might as well detox, delay, Gustav.
Yeah, detox now. Delay. That's perfect. Give you extra draw to worry about the other stuff. Howls. And I might as well play this sad. Wait. I wasn't supposed to delay response Gustav. I was supposed to delay response Sylvie. That's fine. I can martyr him. Gustav.
That's fine, yeah. Yeah. And then scry someone?
Yeah, who? Sylvie? Get rid of the sads, I guess? No, wait. She doesn't have any sads. It's fine.
Alright.
Alright. Now we get Battle of Evasion. Get a little bit more heals as well. That store is fine.
See if you can find a setup into a deflect.
Okay. Yep, got it. Deflect. See what it hits. Hit Chant. Oh, Battle of Conquest. That's nice.
That's good.
So we do this. And then do I use the good one, or I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just Inspire.
No. I think I think you use the good one because we have to try and get another more powerful on Sylvie with another Ballad of Conquest. So you go set up.
So set up again.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. So put sad or whatever. Count of accuracy, whatever it is back.
Sure.
Now we can. Yeah. Now we get more powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Then we do this turn. Perfect. Having be free that turn is very nice.
We keep Scavenge, I think, and get rid of the Sads.
Yeah, the question is, do I martyrdom Sylvie this turn?
Nah.
Okay, she'll just be at 1. Do I martyrdom Laya this turn?
Yeah.
Laya just gets all the martyrdom. Okay. Should be pretty okay. Surviving a lot of damage. We don't have a lot of stuff on us, so it's not doing too much regardless. Yeah, and we have a lot of regen built up, which is nice.
Yeah, now I can start. I guess I still want debuffs on him before I start vanishing, right? I don't want to vanish just yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get much better turns. Thinking about it, next turn will be our best, so we'll vanish then.
Next turn, yeah. Next turn, if I can speed Sylvie up.
Yeah, if we can speed Sylvie up.
We're actually in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
There might
right.
even be a world where Ray Devourers this turn.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to slow her with delay response. That's why that was also bad that I used on Gustav. And then we play the volley and poison spray regardless.
The question is, am I vanishing now? I vanish next turn.
Next turn, yeah. Surely next turn's gonna be more damage.
Well, only if we can get double Ballad of Conquest up, right? We have to scry Gustav and get double Ballad to get powerful uptime.
Yeah, we also need that uproot he has. But yeah.
Okay. So I could just
yeah, we can chant Gustav and Sylvie.
I can't chant Sylvie, can I?
We can you're right, we could
martyrdom her. You could martyrdom her.
Yeah. Or I could martyrdom her.
Save it. Save it.
Well, we need her to go faster than
Archon. That's fine. We'll get it. Yeah, we can do that though.
How?
Can you save the game?
Sure. Andrin's the only one with speed ups in his deck.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying we could either tactical thinking into a Song of Celerity, or we can chant up Gustav and put a martyrdom on Sylvie to make her go back down. Let's start by doing this on Gustav.
Alright.
Get rid of the chant and the chant.
Go to chant.
Keep martyrdom uproot.
Okay.
Is that right? I think so, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Laya still has powerful
yeah.
clarity in her deck too, so we'd only need one technically if she gets to go.
Yeah. Now I can set up to guarantee a trace. Okay, now I can set up to guarantee a slice. Why does it cost 3?
Because it's cycled through twice technically now.
Yeah.
You get refunded 1 energy.
Yeah.
So it only costs 2 really.
I should just do the...
Well, yeah, so...
This is the same.
So what I was going to say here... yeah, is we do the tactical thinking chant of whatever it's called.
You can get rid of everything other than the clarity, right?
Do it. Yeah, am I not going to need the martyrdom?
No, we're going to put one on Sylvie's deck from Gustav.
Okay.
Deflect first, I guess. Deflect to get a discount.
Yeah, deflect for discount.
Nice, that's a great draw. Holy sh! Okay. So yeah, Ballad.
Ballad.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have to play
Ballad uproot.
Yeah,
you could do all 3 ballads and an uproot to finish.
Yeah, because there's no reason Laya needs to go before Sylvie this turn, is there?
We're gonna do martyrdom on Sylvie to slow it down.
Yeah. I just wanted. I need to know if I need to do that before Ballad of Evasion.
Martyrdom Sylvie first.
Yeah. Okay.
So that Laya can give her Inspire.
Okay, and that's only 1 extra Doom clack. But hopefully that's fine.
That's
so Martyrdom Sylvie. Ballad of Conquest.
Ballad.
Yeah, Ballad, and then Ballad of Evasion.
Ballad.
And then Uproot. Yeah. Pretty much the best we could have gotten there. I think I actually hold on to that clarity too.
I think you do, yeah.
Okay. I could delay response.
Delay is not bad, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't stop that, and then you can just give her, make sure she draws through her whole deck. Speaking of drawing through my deck, what do I want? I need to play Martyrdom on anyone? Andrin, maybe? Doesn't slow him this turn.
I think. Do we even need to at this point? Is it worth the risk?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll save this turn.
We still want to clarity Sylvie, I think, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to, because if we don't, I can save it for another turn if we only draw one.
Not the powerful one.
Oh yeah, the other card. Yeah. No gold, Archon, Laya, 5. God, this is so much thinking. Okay. Oh, actually,
this is good to get rid of yours.
Yeah, whose Sanctify do I get rid of? Probably mine or Gustav's. Probably Gustav's. He's got 5 vulnerable. Yeah. I could play Demonic Tutor this turn. Get it out of my deck.
Just do it to get it out of the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortune telling's good.
Yeah, fortune telling.
Put that on yourself or Sylvie.
Yeah, I'll just put it on Sylvie. Sylvie can get rid of her martyrdom.
I don't want this martyrdom yet.
Yeah. As if you won't draw through your whole deck anyways, and then I can expect a prophecy.
Expect it into a bluff?
Well, what I want to do is just put this clarity on top, actually.
Yeah.
And then I can helping hand Sylvie, but sure. Just have all the draw. It's fine.
How?
Yeah, so we're a little bit light on vulnerability. Largely because we just couldn't kill him fast enough.
Okay, so I start with a vanish poison spray. Just to get a poison spray in the yard.
Yeah, I guess we get the poison spray in the... Yeah, that makes sense. So much damage.
And then we have a 50-50, I guess.
Yep. 50-50 it. Might as well. It's our best option. Or no, it's a 1/3 shot.
Yeah, 1/3. Okay.
Oh well.
Am I'm Vanish Rain of Arrows rather than Volley, right?
That is the most damage, but then you can't volley.
Yeah, well, if I volley, I can't Rain of Arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess honestly, I think we have enough damage. Vanish Rain of Arrows should be fine. I kind of trust in our damage.
Or I could just Vanish to dodge any targeted attacks.
Sylvie's like the least likely to die.
Okay. So what do you think? I can still hold on to Vanish for next round, or just
no? It's going to be the best this round, I think. Because we aren't building up Dark on Sylvie, so it saves us a lot. Let me just do the extra quick shot. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but we can give Sylvie extra draw.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. Good thing I did the paw on Andrin and Laya, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we're at the perfect speed levels already. So all we care about is Gustav's draw, because we want him to get his... Oh, he only has 3 energy. We want him to not draw Death's Door. Oh yeah, getting the mark is also good.
I'll trace Gustav then.
Yeah. God, he needs
no chant, no Death's Door. Scavenge is good.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think I actually want to keep the chant.
Yeah, just so you don't redraw. Yeah, okay. So here just do more mark, right?
Yeah. And then you could, are you drawing
you could
trace yourself if you want to get rid of the chant. I don't know when else you're doing it, so.
The problem is, no, I shouldn't have done that. I could have given myself a better chance of getting into the slice. So.
Same,
all good. All good.
Same thing mostly. 39 marks, pretty good.
Yes. Okay, start with Ballad. Okay. Now, chant of accuracy. It's anyone.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
setup.
Scavenge your deflect. Okay.
Do you want me to deflect now?
Yeah. Do we know?
Don't know.
Should we? Yes.
Just do it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and so we get a little bit more bless, and we have more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Surely that's enough.
100% do it, right?
Yeah, like I feel like that's gotta be good enough.
Yeah.
Look at that. Put the vulnerable on top.
That was risky.
No, it was great. Okay. So here, Sylvie's turn kind of sucks. But I want to give you the draw regardless, because you have low draw this turn.
Try me. Yeah. Yeah.
Go to the Deadly Chime.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you have enough. It's like slightly more. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh
wait,
God,
yeah.
Thank God.
We did it. See, I told you there was a way. It looked possible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we were gonna go all the way back.
Yeah,
we were gonna
go back 2 acts.
Yep. I mean, we could have definitely like improved our run.
Yeah, 100%.
But
great. I unlocked a card.
Yeah. Hey, dude, we did it. We did the no gold challenge. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, that was tough.
Not being able to buy any of those shop items. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was rough.
That was
every time rough. I do one of these with you, I just think, God, I hope I'll never ever want to do that again.
That's how I feel too.
Why do you put yourself through this?
Because you like someone's gotta know. Like, can it be done? Like,
yeah.
And on that note, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. As we take a look at the last stats here, I'm going to show you a sneak peek at the next video.
I think that's the comp. Like, I think you can finish the game on level 1.
You realize I'm recording right now, and I'm gonna put that as like a teaser at the end of the video.
Yeah. I
was like, oh, GA's like already spawned our next challenge, level 1. That's so crazy.